In today's video, we're going to discuss about urban society with special reference to its neighborhood, ethnic enclaves, and slums. What is urban neighborhood? An urban neighborhood is typically the downtown core of a modern city. The neighborhoods are generally not exclusive to any one area but are the heart of the metro area. In most larger cities like Mumbai, an urban neighborhood consists of apartments, buildings, townhouses, and condominiums. In simple terms, urban neighborhood is a type of a neighborhood that exists in the central location of any city or urban agglomeration. In such cities or in such towns, such neighborhoods are composed of big buildings, townhouses, and condominiums. As such, an example of Mumbai beat other like Bangalore, Kolkata, and Delhi, where urban neighborhood is very prominent. Nature of urban neighborhood. Number 1. Large size population and high density of population. Comparatively, high population and congested density of population as compared to rural areas. It means that as compared to rural areas, the population of urban areas and its density has always been high. As a result, definitely the urban neighborhood might have or must have the same features. Point number 2. Heterogeneity, diverse background of population. Unlike rural population where it is quite homogeneous, urban population is quite heterogeneous in nature. Thirdly, anonymity. It means loss of social identity. In rural areas where we can find stronghold of social identity when it comes to urban context, there is anonymity. It means people cannot hold their social identity based on their social ascription. Rather, the identity which person gets it's based on their achievements. Number 4. Mobility and transiency. Social mobility is more flexible and the social relationship is more dynamic and temporal. Unlike rural areas where the social mobility is quite restricted and the social relationship is quite static and permanent. Number 5. Formality of relations. The lack of formal relations, the social relation is more based on social contract. Since the social relationship in urban neighborhood is quite dynamic and temporal, because of which the formality of the relationship is quite temporal and it is based on social contract only. That means with the end of that contract, the relation might get terminated also. Point number 6. Social distance. Social distance is a product of anonymity, impersonality, and heterogeneity, which is why each and every person has their own identity, and due to this heterogeneity, the social identity which has been gained from rural areas by birth or from ascription doesn't exist in urban areas. What is ethnic enclaves? The word ethnic is often used to refer to a particular group with a shared nationality or cultural background. Enclaves sometimes refer to the concentration of ethnic groups within a geographic area. Academic inquiry of ethnic enclaves began with Kenneth Wilson and Alejandro Portes' study of immigrant enclaves found by the Cubans in Miami, USA, which they define as a concentration of ethnic businesses employing by people from the same ethnic group. Now, let's talk about some advantages and disadvantages of ethnic enclaves. First advantage. It is quite affordable housing for the immigrants. Those immigrants who are coming from outside, ethnic enclaves provide them housing facilities at a very affording cost. Securities to the communities. Ethnic enclaves are major points that can provide good standard securities to its immigrants, and New employment opportunities for immigrants is also available in such ethnic enclaves. Point number 4. It helps to develop social contacts with different people having different social background or ethnics. Whereas the disadvantages of ethnic enclaves are: point number 1, it reduces the employment opportunities for the natives. Point number 2, sometimes it can lead to loss of cultural identities. Point number 3, lack of social cohesion sometimes can easily lead to social clash. And point number 4, it affects the quality of labor market at the same time. The next we will discuss about slum, which is completely an urban phenomenon. What is slum? The UN operationally defines slum as a one or a group of individuals living under the same roof in an urban area lacking in one or more of the 5 amenities. Number 1, durable housing, a permanent structure providing protection from extreme climatic conditions. Point number 2, sufficient living area, no more than 3 people sharing a room. Point number 3, access to improved water. Water is sufficient, affordable, and can be obtained without extreme efforts. Point number 4, access to improved sanitation facilities, that is, a private toilet or a public one shared with a reasonable number of people. Point number 5, secure tenure, de facto or de jure secure tenure status and protection against forced eviction. Types of slums. Point number 1, original slums. This is an area which forms the very beginning consisted of unsuitable buildings. These are usually areas around an old factory or mining site which is now given up or is the zone of transition, like for example the Mexican slum in USA. Point number 2, transitional zone slum. This type of slums are created by the departure of middle and upper class families to other section, or it may be due to the starting of a new industry or due to congestion or subsequent deterioration of the living area. Number 3, slum of phenomenon of transition. Once the area around the main business district has become blighted, physical and social deterioration spreads rapidly. This type of slums looms with flop houses for accommodation for the destitutes, house of prostitutions, and speak-ease. Where does India stand on slum population? While the number of people living in the 5 biggest slums in the world amounts to 5.7 million, this is only just a drop in the ocean. Today, by most conservative estimates, about 900 million people live in slum. But most of the experts agree that including different types of informal settlements, the number goes up to 1.6 billion, which represents 1/4 of the world's urban population. By 2030, it's estimated that 1 in 4 people on the planet will live in a slum or other informal settlements. Let's take a tour of the world's biggest slum. Khawelitsha in Cape Town of South America, having slum population of 4 lakh. Kibera in Nairobi, Kenya, have slum population of 7 lakh. Dharavi in Mumbai, India, has slum population of 10 lakh. Neza, Mexico, has a slum population of 12 lakh, whereas Orangi town in Karachi, Pakistan, having slum population of 24 lakh. Urban planning, ways to tackle down the problem of slum. Urban planning is the best way to tackle down the problem of slum But even in urban planning, there are certain aspects that need to be focused for the implementation of such planning in urban areas, such as transport and traffic control. Number 2, control of land use. Number 3, slum clearance. Number 4, provision of low rent houses, especially for the slums. Number 5, zoning. By zoning, it means those areas where the slums are living and those areas where the rich peoples are living. Those areas where there is transport and traffic management required, and those areas where all the recreation facilities are available. With these zonings, urban planning becomes quite easy and feasible. Number 6, provision of utilities. Number 7, disposal of garbage. And at last, number 8, parking places. Now, let's recall what we have learned so far through these multiple choice questions. Question number 1, which of the following is the feature of urban neighborhood? Here, the correct answer is option D, all of these. As we have learned before, that urban neighborhood possess features like anonymity, mobility, and social distance. Now, question number 2, a settlement where people live below the minimum level of existence is known as. The correct answer is option C, slum. Question number 3. Major contribution to the study of ethnic enclaves is made by. Here, the correct answer is both. Option C. Alejandro Portes and Kenneth Wilson, they are the both major proponents who have made their major studies in ethnic enclaves. That's all for today. Thank you for watching it.